This is The Wheel Weaves, a Wheel of Time podcast with no spoilers. Hey everyone, I'm your host Dani, and I'm the first-time reader going through this series chapter by chapter. As always, there's no spoilers past the chapter we're covering, and that means it's totally safe for first-time readers. I'm joined by my co-host Brett, who's a longtime fan, and he's guiding me through this journey. We'd like to acknowledge and thank our executive producers, Brandy and Kirkwood, Chad Welsh, Sean McGuire, Yanis, Rikky Morrisette, Albert Lorenzo, and Eddie Costello. We'd also like to thank and welcome Elizabeth Hansen and TGE to the Wheel Weaves Patreon team. Thank you so much for your generosity and your support. We really appreciate it. In this episode, we're talking about chapters 37 and 38 of Lord of Chaos.
Yeah, so chapter 37 is When Battle Begins, and chapter 38 is A Sudden Chill. These are the fun episodes.
Saladar and Chill.
Yeah! Oh, nice. That's a good one. Yeah, I think, and I didn't actually check it, but I'm pretty confident that chapter 37 has the most perspective changes that we've seen so far.
Flip-flop, flip-flop.
Like, even more so than the Ruidian chapters, when it's like we get like 4 or 5 or 6 different viewpoints in one chapter.
Interesting.
Because we get 8 different flip-flops.
Interesting. Yeah, we'd have to go back because near the end of every book, there's always a couple chapters, like with the Nynaeve Rand flip-flop.
Sure.
At the end of Fires of Heaven, I'd be interested to know how many back and forths that is, because it's quite a few.
I probably should have checked this first, because in the prologue of this book, because it was like 100 pages, there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so
you're immediately wrong.
Yeah, immediately wrong. But I have a point. This chapter was not like 80 pages long.
No, it was a very short chapter.
It was a short chapter. So like when we're talking about like quantity here, it was real fast perspective.
It was quick.
It was good. That's why I felt that way. So
yeah. But yeah, I do think about the Rand Nynaeve flip-flops.
Right. Yeah,
totally. At the end of Fires of Heaven too. So
yeah. There's a couple, but this was like a definite...
It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a contender. So.
And it's fun.
It is. They're really funny. Like, these are funny chapters.
Yeah, I did enjoy them. So much that I read them. Like, I reread them because it's actually been a hot minute. It's been a while.
Yeah, since you've read the book.
We've recorded last.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
It has been a while. We've had a lot going on and a little bit of burnout happening. That's real.
A little bit of sickness.
So... we're working through some things, and it's been a while, and so in the time between when we last recorded with Spencer and now...
Oh, right, that was last... Okay, it's been longer than I thought.
And these chapters are short, and they're really interesting and fun.
Yeah.
So I picked up the book, and I read these chapters again.
I love it, so you're going to be ready for this.
Before I even wrote my notes, so yeah, it's good.
Okay, so I'm going to kick us off then, because I got a pretty interesting fun fact that I think is interesting anyways, and it's about one of the people in these perspectives that we get a little bit of character development from.
Okay.
And it is a very famous former Swan Sanche, former Watcher of the Seals, Flemitar Valen, the Amerlin Seat. It's all about her today.
Okay.
So here we go.
Is it about fish metaphors?
A little bit.
Okay.
A little bit, actually. Okay, so the last time we were talking fun facts, we talked about there's a lot of similarities of the White Tower and the Amerlin to the Vatican and the Pope in the structure and the organization. So we've talked about it in a few different areas. Now, with the Wheel of Time, Swan Sanche was the first Amerlin we were introduced to in the Wheel of Time. And you should remember she's the daughter of a fisherman.
I do remember that.
Okay, so that's going to be important in a second.
Okay.
So, a part of the official regalia worn by the Pope is something called the Piscatory Ring, also known as the Ring of the Fisherman.
Okay.
Because the Pope is technically the successor of St. Peter, who was one of the 12 apostles and one of the first leaders of the early church, and St. Peter was a fisherman by trade. And the ring itself features a picture of St. Peter fishing from a boat with a fishing net.
There you go.
Okay, and it gets better.
Okay.
So, now, when it comes to St. Peter, Peter isn't actually his original name.
No way.
No, it's not. Okay. Originally...
Swan.
Close. Oh. Simon.
Oh, that's not close.
Or originally it was Simeon. Because...
That's not close.
No, there's a thing, though. So, in 2 passages, it's Simeon... And then it's also Simon later on because...
But Swan isn't the original...
Just wait for it. Just wait for it. You're jumping ahead here. So there's a well-known custom among Jews of the time of giving similar sounding Greek or Roman names. And in this case, Simon was the similar name to Simeon. So RJ, in my opinion, gave another similar name in Swan.
Okay.
So we've got Simeon, Simon, Swan as the original leaders of the church / Aes Sedai. Now it gets one little bit better.
Because I was going to say that's a stretch, but go on.
But Sanche has Latin roots meaning sacred. So on one hand, we got Simon the Saint, Saint Peter. The other hand, we got Swan the Sacred, because Sanche means sacred. So, and they're both fishermen.
Okay.
So there we go.
Grasping at straws there, Brett.
I figured it out.
No,
there
not
you go.
even close.
Swan Sanche is Saint Peter.
No.
100%. Nailed it.
Okay. I would say a hard 67%.
Yeah, no, RJ doesn't do a 1-to-1, but it's like there's clearly
even...
some inspiration with the fish and the ring and the all this that.
Like maybe.
No, it's a good one. I love this.
Okay.
Pretty sure I nailed it. No worries.
All right. So let's get into these fun chapters then.
Yeah,
now,
let's do it.
Last time we were here, we chatted with Spencer. That was lots of fun.
Yep.
Oh, no, wait. We've recorded one since then.
Yeah, there was one between, actually. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was Egwene hop, skipping, and jump. Yeah.
That was the video episode.
Right.
Okay. It has been a while. Oh, my God.
I don't even know
what's happening.
Yeah,
okay. Wow. Okay, so the beginning of this episode when I was like, oh, we recorded with Spencer last. That's wrong.
That's why I thought it's like, oh, my God, it's been so long. But it hasn't been that long.
It's been a while. Okay. Anyway, last time we were here, Egwene got crowned?
Raised to the Amyrlin seat.
To be the new Saladar Amyrlin.
The one true Amyrlin seat, not the fake one who's in the White Tower.
Okay.
That's an imposter.
Sure.
Right?
Yes. Okay. Rebel Force Amyrlin.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. And she also promoted her friends in a little act of nepotism.
Yeah, and it gets better this chapter.
It's even better. I actually do really like funny. This. The hard switch on my perspective of Egwene is just that. It's a hard switch.
Did you come even further?
Oh my God, I am loving it. I love it. I love it. All of a sudden, I just love her.
Yeah, this is what she was meant to do.
This is it. And
she fits, and her personality fits in here.
And even Swan's reaction. This is excellent.
That's why I want to talk about Swan in the fun fact, because she does some character development.
I don't know. And you want to tell me that Egwene's not a Ta'veren? Okay.
No. I got opinions about that. That's fine.
I know, but this is a meant to be situation.
Yeah, here's the things though. We don't need the pattern forcing Egwene to do this. She's gonna go and do it anyways.
No, this was an accident for her. She didn't seek this out at all.
No, that's true. But now she doesn't need any help. She doesn't need the pattern's help to be Amyrlin. She doesn't need to be Ta'veren.
She did though to get here.
No. They meant to be easy peasy.
Yeah, but meant to be isn't that?
That doesn't
Ta'veren?
mean that. No. That's not how it works.
I'm pretty sure.
No, that's not how it works. Just because it's meant to be doesn't mean it's Ta'veren.
Okay. I don't understand this book.
That's
so
okay.
Chapter 37, when battle begins, and with the chapter symbol of the Adam.
Yes.
Which is exciting.
Because of all your predictions that immediately went down the tank.
Right.
Yeah.
That they weren't going to tell her. And
there was a whole bunch of
like
back and forth. Yeah, and it's immediately it's they tell her, and then she goes, and we talked about, what's she going to do with the Adam?
But you know what I did predict, right? Was that Egwene was not going to be manipulated or guided.
Yeah, no, for sure. You did get that.
Because you were like, realistically, is Egwene going to be, are they going to be able to control her? And I was like, oh no.
Yeah, that's not happening.
Immediately, I was like, no way. And so that's for sure.
But she is definitely, doing all the things.
Immediately.
Putting the bracelet on and doing the controlling
it's awesome.
And the threatening.
Okay, let's get into it.
Yeah.
So we enter Egwene's perspective, picking up from where last chapter ended, with Nynaeve and Elaine standing there, silently for a minute, just sort of staring at each other.
Yep.
And then it's just so funny. I can picture the whole scene with Nynaeve staring at the ground and then
she's kicking rocks too.
And then lifting her arm up while she's still looking down and is like, this isn't a dam. It's attached to a Forsaken we captured.
And it's also casual. It's we captured Moghedien and she's under the... no, why are you upset? Like, this is an amazing feat that you did here.
I know. And then she also says that only Swan, Lyanna, and Brigida knows about Moghedien.
Right.
And I have a question for you.
Sure.
Did I know that Swan and Lyanna knew?
I think so.
Because that was a surprise to me.
Okay, I'm pretty sure
that Swan and Lyanna knew that Moghedien the Forsaken was captured here.
Okay.
I didn't know if I knew that.
Okay. I feel like we do know that. I mean, at least now we do for sure know that.
At least now we do, but whether we did learn it, I forgot it.
Okay.
And if we didn't learn
That's
it, then
happening
this
a lot,
is new.
though, so I don't even know what to say to that.
There's a lot going on.
I can go back and try and find exactly when so I can get confirmation, but not right now. I'm not doing
No,
it.
and you're going to forget, so don't worry about it. So now Elaine steps in and defends their decision because the Aes Sedai for sure would have executed her immediately, and she knows so many things. That's where all their discoveries have come from.
Yeah.
Well, most at least. And, it takes a second for all this to sink in, but finally Egwene's like, okay, bring her here.
Yeah, might as well.
Bring her
also,
here, let me see.
it's important to note that at this point, Egwene is still under the impression that Brigida
is still in
Tel'aran'rhiod because, like, why would she be here?
Yeah,
in
and
Saladar?
then she feels a little bit a certain kind of way.
Yeah,
because she's like, wait a minute, Nynaeve knows about Brigida?
Yeah, because Elaine and Egwene had that whole thing where Elaine was like, "Oh my god,
I can't tell anybody.
I'm not telling you. I'm not going to inform you," even though Egwene like saw.
Yes.
And she knows, but Elaine's not talking about it, so now she's feeling that kind of way.
And she's feeling like, oh, she's closer with Nynaeve than she is with me. And yeah.
Little jelly monster coming out.
A little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah. So now Nynaeve literally takes off running to go get Moghedien, and now it's just Egwene and Elaine, and Egwene says she has no intention of asking about, quote, anyone she's not supposed to know about.
Yeah, so that's Brigida.
And then Elaine is sort of like, okay, we can talk about it. I can tell you some things.
Yeah.
But, like, not now.
But also, like, Elaine, you're going to have to do it real soon because Brigida's here in the
literally
physical
here.
world.
She's
like
here.
in Saladar. She's inside the camp.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
You're going to figure that out fast.
Mm-hmm. And then Egwene changes the subject and tells Elaine about the differences in channeling between the Aes Sedai and the Aiel, and how the cultures are different with their channelers. And basically, Egwene's whole new plan as Amyrlin is to not let any woman slip through the cracks anymore.
Yes, which is like, okay, how do you feel about
Love
her?
it.
We get a little bit of an addition to it in a little bit too, but I'll bring it up now. Mm-hmm. She says that she wants to tie everybody who can channel to the tower in some fashion.
Yes.
So we're talking like the Aiel, we're talking the Windfinders with the Seafolk.
Well, sort of.
It's kind of, sort of, right? So Elaine and her have that little in-between, but how do you feel about Egwene's plan of this?
It's excellent.
You're on board with it?
I'm totally on board with it.
Okay.
I'm on board with it, and I do think that she is a little bit concerned about Rand and his male channelers.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And then the Aes Sedai who are, like, dwindling, and who knows how many are gonna, like, even survive this little tower coming back to the big tower business.
Yeah.
So...
And the last battle that's coming. Like,
yeah,
there's that too.
And she's like, why are they being sent away if they can't, pass the test or whatever? We should still keep them.
Yeah. So we also get some numbers here too, and that's really important. So she knows that the Aiel don't let any women, like literally no women, die due to lack of learning.
Yes.
Just because they're missing it. And there's fewer than 1,000 Aes Sedai, and there's more wise ones who can channel than that.
Yes.
So that gives us a perspective on Aiel as a whole, because it's like the wise ones who can channel.
Yeah, because in my brain, there's like 15 wise ones for all the Aiel.
There's more than 1,000 wise ones who can channel, and we know not every wise one can channel.
Right.
So it's like the Aiel, there's a bunch of them.
So many.
There's so many.
Yeah.
There's so many Aiel.
Yeah. Good reminder of that.
There's a lot. If you weren't sure and didn't believe me on population sizes.
Yeah,
there's a lot.
So now Egwene makes some points about the tower and its problems, and how they're overly severe on excluding people.
Super severe.
If you're not strong enough, if you're too old, if you refuse a test, or if you fail a test, then you're basically just like
straight to jail.
Straight to jail.
Yeah,
gone.
Refuse a test, gone. Straight to jail.
Well, not jail, but yeah. I get the reference.
Yeah.
It's a good reference.
Yeah.
Okay. So Elaine is like, well, the tests are to make sure that the Aes Sedai are strong enough mentally as well, because you can't be an Aes Sedai if you're like...
It's like you got to channel, but you also got to be like emotionally strong, which is fair.
And Egwene's like, yeah, maybe they can't be Aes Sedai, but they're not useless.
Which Aes Sedai think anyone who can't channel is useless.
Isn't a full Aes Sedai is useless.
Yeah, and now we know from Aes Sedai hierarchy, if you're weaker in the power, you're also useless.
Yes. Yeah.
Like you're on a scale of uselessness going down.
I know. At what point does Egwene learn that rule?
Yeah,
and
hopefully...
at what point does she abolish that rule?
You think that they're going to just like let that be abolished?
I don't
These
know.
old women stuck in their ways.
Yeah, but that's why I said, how long will it take for that to...
Thousands of years.
No. She's going to. Yeah. Anyway.
Okay.
All right.
But anyways, yeah.
So then she says her dream is for any woman, every woman who can channel to be connected to the tower somehow. But Elaine wants the sea folk to be left alone to... like raise their own channelers because they're doing a good job of it.
Yeah.
And Egwene is like, and I know the Aiel need to be left alone.
Yeah.
And so they do this funny little spit handshake.
Yeah, it is kind of funny.
On leaving them alone.
Like, oh, I'm not going to kidnap the sea folk women and bring them to the tower.
Yeah.
So, like, Egwene's got a good point. It's like, yeah, we want to attach strings in the sense that they should be like a connection, like relationships.
Yes.
Not so much, and don't do such terrible things like bundling them off to the tower where the sea folk actively try to avoid you all the time.
Yes.
Like
to the point where they threw you off a boat because they could feel you could channel.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you lash out wildly with the power.
That was a mistake.
Anyways, Egwene has learned a lot since 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Anyways.
No, she hasn't. She's still terrible.
You're right. It's like 36 hours. It's not even 2 full days.
Oh my god, it's still terrible. It's still bad.
Man. Okay.
All right. And then at this point, Nynaeve returns with, quote, Merrigan.
Yeah, so keep in mind, Nynaeve and Egwene also had that like weird little dynamic because Nynaeve's been avoiding Egwene for the last little while. Mm-hmm. So just like, that's why she also like head down.
And
she runs
they
off
haven't even really had a real interaction since the assault on her friend.
No, there's like a little bit of like a power dynamic switch, and this raising to
especially
Amyrlin
now.
It's not going to help.
Especially now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So anyways, Merrigan. Wink, wink, Merrigan.
Yes. Egwene comments that she doesn't look like what she expected, and then that prompts Nynaeve to have Moghedien drop the disguise. And then they have a whole conversation about how disguises work and inverting weaves so no one can see them or feel that she can channel.
Yeah.
And then finally, Egwene is like, okay, put her back the way she was.
Yeah. It is kind of funny, too, because these weaves that are like the ones that they are keeping, the inverting, the disguises, it's like those are crazy powerful weaves.
Those are excellent.
Those are like super useful.
Yeah.
Super disguise, and no one can like see your weaves.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Or sense your ability to channel. It's crazy.
Avienda, in a minute or so,
she could have learned. She could have used those. Oh, man.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyways.
Now, this is something that surprised me.
Yes.
But I'm here for.
Yes. So, keep in mind, Egwene's first reaction back when she first got the collar off around her neck was to immediately attack, beat the shit out of the Suldam.
That's right.
So, like, she's not going to back away from a fight.
No.
Even if she doesn't like the tool.
That's right. And so here's something that I like about what's going on here with Egwene.
Okay.
And how she can note the difference. Like, yes, she doesn't like an Adam. She doesn't like that it exists and that, you know, people across the ocean are using it to enslave channelers.
Sure.
That's bad. Being enslaved is bad.
Yeah.
Enslaving people is bad.
We can say that on the record.
On the record.
Yeah.
But Egwene here in this moment recognizes that Moghedien the Forsaken has done crimes 100 times over to get herself, like...
Immediately executed.
Executed 100 times over.
Yeah.
And she recognizes this, like, the use of this.
Yeah.
But then she thinks to herself that what Elaine is doing is so terrible that Rand would never forgive her for holding a Forsaken captive and learning from one.
I was so glad that you picked up on that.
Oh my god, it's hilarious.
So funny because it's like, oh my god.
That's exactly what Rand did.
Yeah, and imagine what Egwene would think of Rand if she caught him in, like, I don't even know, like, walked in on a conversation where he's like, hey, Asmodean.
Yeah.
And she was like, what?
Yeah.
Like, she would be so angry at him, no doubt.
Well,
like,
that's because she's very self-righteous.
Yeah, very self-righteous, but I can't imagine where she would be like, okay, I understand why you need to learn how to channel from him.
Right.
I don't think she would have that perspective at the point when they were, like, together.
Yeah. Yeah. So
really funny stuff.
It's funny and but to the point here where she takes the Adam bracelet and puts it on.
Yeah.
So big step for Egwene.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And now she does have a decent idea of how this all works.
Yeah.
And almost doesn't hesitate, like, considering how traumatized she is by this situation.
Yeah.
Now she's on the other end of it, so she's cool.
Yeah. Makes sense.
That's kind of how this works.
Yeah.
For her.
She's had, like, a little bit of recovery time too.
Maybe. Okay.
She's had some spiritual strengthening from the Aiel Wise Ones, I think.
Sure.
Like, as a person, she's come a long way.
Okay.
So
she can immediately feel Mogedian's fear and self-loathing.
Yeah.
And then Egwene has to remind herself that this is a Forsaken and all the terrible things she's done. So then she starts feeling a little bit better about this situation.
Well, the interesting thing is the self-loathing, too. Mogedian's
her
self-loathing.
Yeah.
So, and it's
maybe
probably...
it's because she's, like, thought about all the different ways she can get out of this and has realized she can't.
Yeah, it's like she's the chosen, right? She's a Forsaken, and, like, she's captured by these peasant girls in her
exactly.
mind. So.
Yeah, no,
so she kind of hates
true.
herself right now. Like, I get that, too.
But what I was going to say before you were talking about the way Mogedian's feeling is the, like, moral ambiguity of this situation.
Oh, yeah.
Like, does anyone, no matter their crimes,
well, we've talked
really
about that too with
deserve,
Asmodean, yeah.
I know, but this is another level.
Yeah,
I know.
It's the same thing. It's like, yeah, we can understand there's a usefulness that they can provide by being, like, a captive.
Yeah.
And it's the same, like, weird,
but
what do you
does
do?
anyone really actually deserve to be in a situation like this?
Yeah.
So
I mean, okay.
And immediately Egwene just
We're talking
starts,
like super villains.
She starts threatening and starts putting on her, like, super scary voice.
Yeah, it's her mad dog face. She's like, don't sidestep or I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna kill you.
Don't ever lie to me, because if you think that Elaine and Nynaeve were gentle,
I'm gonna get you.
I'm not gonna be.
But she, like, does it in an actually intimidating way,
like,
where
Mogedian's
actually scared.
They're, like, really scared.
So
yeah, she says if she puts one foot out wrong, she'll make her beg for death. And she won't kill her. She'll find a way to make this face permanent.
Yeah, okay, so I want to talk about this.
That's what gets her.
But there actually might be a legitimate threat to that Mogedian thinks, because we've seen Mogedian turn Birgitte into a baby in Tel'aran'rhiod. And we got those comments about, like, making...
toddler.
Yeah,
but yes.
But we got comments from her about making things like that a permanent effect.
Now, what's interesting here is Mogedian knows who Egwene is. She tried to trap her in Tel'aran'rhiod before. Yeah. And it didn't work.
Yeah.
Egwene escaped, and that surprised Mogedian.
There's that, too. And that's why, in the whole Tel'aran'rhiod thing, like, turning her into making this face permanent, maybe Mogedian thinks there's, like, a legitimate threat to this in some way, shape, or form. Mm-hmm. So there is some cause for fear.
Especially if Egwene, using this thing, forces Mogedian to teach her how to do it.
Exactly.
That's, like, part of a terrible punishment.
Yeah, there's real implications here. So, like, Mogi might be a little bit frightened.
Very.
Yeah.
Very much.
Mogi,
nice.
Right? Mogi?
Mogi,
Did I get
that
that
was
right?
going to say.
I did it,
nice
okay.
nickety name.
It feels weird doing that.
Nah, it's great. It was good. All right, so now Egwene gets to the topic that she wants to discuss with Mogi.
Yep.
She tells her that she's considered traveling from one place to another by boring a hole through the pattern so there's no distance between the two ends. And that's what Rand told her.
Yes.
And she asked Mogedian, would that work?
Yes.
And
Hard
Mogedian
no.
says that for sure won't work. That's the way men travel. And if you try, you'll get sucked into that nothingness.
Yeah.
And you'll probably die immediately.
Into the abyss, you're gone forever. I don't know.
Yeah.
Do we believe her?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. You know, you're on the whole like, oh, I never
No.
believe anything anyone says.
No,
ever,
I believe this.
Okay, I just want to check.
Yeah.
Just want to check.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And then we get Nynaeve Elaine sidebar.
Yeah.
In the
really
background.
funny. I love this because like
traveling. We never even thought of that. Oh, think of all the other things we haven't thought about.
Hate it. So if anybody's like, why didn't they ask? That's why.
I didn't think about it.
Which is like super. I feel that's so hard.
Yeah, but like, what? Why would you think about something that you don't even know exists?
Well, no, they know. They know that, you know, that was a thing.
Not enough.
Not enough to be like, but you know what I'm saying?
They don't know enough of what was things and what wasn't.
That's why you got to go big. Be like, teach me how to fly.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Like the impossible things.
Right.
But Nynaeve was super focused on like the one thing, healing, stilling.
The healing and stilling,
She figured it out herself, but it's like, you got to, you know, go big. So, okay.
All right. So now, Moghedien more or less describes what Egwene has already done to get into Tel'aran'rhiod in the flesh.
Yes.
But instead, it's like something else.
Yeah, so basically,
kind of confusing.
from the description, it sounds like traveling is the same or very similar to entering Tel'aran'rhiod in the flesh, where you make the 2 points similar.
Yeah.
Except instead of like attempting to go into the dream world, you just go into the real world.
And you like imagine that place.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So it's like we don't really get enough of a description, but it doesn't
matter.
It's close enough that it also makes sense for when we think about Rand, where if it works the same on that half of the source, where if his actual traveling and his going into Tel'aran'rhiod in the flesh is close enough, that it kind of makes sense why he
doesn't know the difference.
Doesn't understand the difference at all.
Yeah.
Like he's still not on the same page with what the dream world is.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, because he does go into his, what he thinks that it's called like mirror reflection world or something.
Yeah.
Like he's called it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Where it's like, so he goes to the place that's similar by doing an almost similar weave. So it kind of makes sense, like, if we can imagine it that way.
Right. Okay, well, then Egwene's like this?
Yeah.
you mean do this? And then basically just, like, does it, and boom, Egwene has, like, rediscovered traveling.
Mm-hmm.
So.
There we go.
There we go. She did it. She opened a doorway to, like, somewhere in the waste.
Yes. So very cool. Good for her.
Yes, and Elaine is pretty excited because she thinks she can copy what Egwene has done.
Yeah.
And Nynaeve is not happy, but not mad.
No.
Not mad enough.
Not mad enough to see the weave, so
not
she
mad
can't.
enough. She can't see the weaves. And Moghedien is internally freaking out, and she's like, who taught you that? And Egwene pulls like a super Aes Sedai move and is like, never be too sure. I don't already know the answer when I ask a question.
Because I'm going to kill you or not kill you.
So if you lie to me once.
Yep.
Now, there's something interesting that happens in the background while Nynaeve is like, Elaine, kick me.
Right, she's rambling.
And she's rambling. She's trying to get angry. Oh, why can't I get angry? Blah, blah. And then Egwene feels Moghedien have a feeling of like shock.
Like her ears perked up?
To something that Nynaeve said.
Yeah, so what was that thing?
I don't know.
Okay.
I think it's the why can't I get angry to channel?
Really? Okay.
No, it's
probably not that. It also, because she has a second sidebar about that it might be the we can't take her to Abu Dar anyways.
Oh, yeah, that.
It's that sentence.
You can have her. Keep her forever for all I care.
Yeah, because the follow-up is like, oh, maybe she wants to stay with the people that she already currently knows versus being left with me, who's a wild card.
Yeah.
Like Egwene's the wild card in Moghedien's eyes.
I know that's what Egwene thinks, but I think there's also that secondary thing where she's like, curse this block. Why can't I channel without being angry? Does Moghedien know that
it's hard to say.
She still has that block?
It's hard to say. Yeah.
Is it shocking that Moghedien knows why Nynaeve has her block and Nynaeve doesn't know why she has her block?
Well, that's actually a big thing too, because Moghedien's the one who did the compulsion that made her admit.
About.
Yeah. So if anyone forgot about that, so Nynaeve admitted why she has the block. So maybe
under compulsion.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I said that's the key.
Yeah.
From the beginning,
but no, that's the big thing.
She needs to know what the block is.
It very well could be that too. Like there's a couple big question marks.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, I will say this: they are all way too free with what they talk about around Moghedien.
Also, I don't know if anybody has put any wards against eavesdropping up on this door.
Yeah, well, we usually get an explicit statement when that happens.
Yeah, this doesn't really seem
We
like...
haven't gotten that.
No.
So.
We haven't gotten that.
That's why Nynaeve was like, Merrigan. Wink, wink, nudge,
I know,
nudge.
and then they're just like, traveling. Oh.
Yeah, nailed it.
I wish I could discover traveling, and there's a lot going on in this room.
Yeah.
That could easily be spied on.
Someone could be spying. That's
easily,
fair.
easily.
Yeah, pretty easily, yeah.
Very.
Super easily.
Actually.
That's fair, yep. By,
Everyone.
Yeah.
Anyone
Black
who knows
Aja.
how to eavesdrop. Even just like walking up to the door and putting their ear against it.
Putting a cup against the wall and listening.
Well, that's literally what Nynaeve did.
Yeah, she just stuck her head in there.
She just like literally sat under an open window.
Well, it's funny because we've had this conversation too when Moghedien got punched in the face by Nynaeve, but it's like you use the power too much. You forget about just like the normal ways to go and spy.
Stuff.
The regular stuff.
Except when we get a perspective change here in a minute, we get that these rooms are sealed off against eavesdropping.
Okay.
And we don't get that this one is. So, just saying. I won't be surprised if someone has discovered something, if this comes back.
Bites him in the butt.
Or, alternatively, it doesn't matter at all and it'll never come back.
Exactly.
Those are the two options. Yeah. So now there's a knock at the door, and it's Swan. And she's here because she has to teach Egwene some Amyrlin etiquette.
Yeah.
So Egwene tells Moghedien to leave and threatens her again and keeps the bracelet on.
Yep.
And there's a bit of a conversation between Swan and Egwene ends up telling Nynaeve and Elaine to go find out about more lost talents.
Yeah, go do it.
That's your homework.
Nice.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Okay. Also, in the meantime, Nynaeve changed out of her accepted dress.
Oh, yeah, immediately.
Into a cleavage dress.
Well, we know that she likes that. Come on.
I know, but now Egwene was like, oh my god, scandalous, Nynaeve.
Yeah, Egwene's really stuck up about that.
Yeah,
but
she is.
It's also funny because in the next chapter, Matt, the first thing he thinks is, oh, Nynaeve is wearing dresses she never used to because Nynaeve is totally like a good Two Rivers wool stout dresses, whatever.
Yeah.
But secretly, she likes the nice clothes.
She likes that. Yeah.
You just gotta admit it to yourself. Come on, Nynaeve.
I know. And then also Elaine gets to go change out of her accepted dress because they're not accepted anymore.
They're not.
And I can't believe that this is a real thing that's happening.
Oh yeah.
Especially for Nynaeve. It just seems stupid. Okay. Anyway, now.
Well, I made the whole Dean analogy last time, right?
Yes.
Don't worry, I have more to add on to that later.
I can't wait. It's a good one. It's a good analogy. So, Swan and Egwene are now alone, and Egwene launches into a bit of a speech. She tells Swan that she needs her, and that Swan knows what it is to be Amyrlin, and she knows the sitters, and how to deal with the Hall, and what they want, and what they think, and Egwene demands that Swan help. And she's like, I won't be manipulated by you, but I need you.
It's not like a pitiful, ooh, I need your help, Swan. It's like, I'm taking your help, whether you want it or not.
Whether you want to give me your help.
You're mine now.
Yeah.
I'm going to scoop the knowledge
Swan
out of your brain.
Seems to be on the same page, because she's like, the sitters here are expecting you to basically be a little novice.
Yeah.
And
they're not going to get that. Yeah.
They've all made a big mistake because Egwene is not going to be that. So let the plotting begin.
Let's do it. And then we get to see that really start to unfold.
Yeah.
I like the flip-floppy because we really get to see all sides and how it kind of plays out.
Yeah. No, and I like Egwene thinking Swan's plan here is some stuff she already thought of.
Yeah.
And it's all good.
It's all good.
I like this duo.
Yes.
Swan and Egwene. And she's also like, Egwene, I never liked you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is fair.
Which is fine.
Because...
too much of herself.
Which is why you don't like...
Nynaeve.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And maybe Egwene also. Maybe.
Maybe a little bit of...
Maybe a little from column A to column B.
Yeah.
It's fine.
It's good. It's
all
good.
All right. So, perspective change to Romanda.
Yes.
She's sitting in her room in the little tower with 3 other sitters.
Yeah.
They are the 3 who would have supported her to be Amyrlin's seat. She thinks about how she only voted for Egwene to keep Lelaine from being raised.
Yeah, so we got...
Those are the 2 who didn't sit or stand up the last 2.
Yes, they're the ones who are on the other side of the faction. They're like Romanda and Lelaine. They're the 2 on the different sides of the factions, and there's Sheriam on the third, and Egwene in the middle.
Yeah.
Right? But then secretly Swan and Egwene are a team now.
Yes.
Okay.
So now these sitters are willing to listen to her plan, but Romanda is frowning, and she's wondering where Delana is because she's
Black Aja.
supposed to be here.
Yeah, yep.
She starts the meeting anyway. And the important thing is to make sure that Sheriam learns she hasn't gained as much power as she thought by becoming Keeper.
Yes.
So it's funny because this group thinks that it was Sheriam's plan to become
the keeper, and also to raise the 4 accepted to full sisters. Like, she thinks that was Sheriam's plan.
That's right.
But it totally wasn't.
No, it wasn't. It's great.
Yeah.
So then we get a perspective switch too.
Before we do that, though, I just want to comment, because, like, the perspective changes are kind of similar.
Yeah, they're exactly
as we
the
roll
same.
through.
It's like a mirror image.
Yeah, but
legitimately.
I really just want to highlight the fact that right now we've got Saladar that is split into, like, 3 different sides. Factions. Instead of being a united front to oppose Elida.
I'm surprised.
I'm not surprised either, but I'm just saying, like, that's not good. That's bad.
Yeah.
If Egwene wasn't here to, like, wrangle them up into this new plan...
Well, that's why they're literally all just, like, sitting on their butts.
Doing nothing.
Literally doing nothing. It's because they're never all going to come to a conclusion about anything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
There we are. So now, mirror image, it's Lalane's point of view. She's in a different house in Saladar, having the same meeting with her own little crew, and also thinks, where's Delana?
Yep.
And also thinks that everything was Sheriam's influence.
Yeah.
And she didn't want Romanda to be Amyrlin, so she voted for Egwene.
Yeah, so same thing.
Okay.
Same.
Next perspective change to Delana.
Black Aja.
Who is, like, sitting in her room. And it's like, which meeting would she have chosen?
Yeah, so none, because we got to pull back and we got to slow down on this perspective.
Okay. She's sitting in her room with Halima.
Who is?
Arengar. Okay.
Yeah.
And she's freaking out a bit because, you know, she's like, if I keep trying to support every faction, I'm going to get caught. And she's like, you got to take risks. You must continue to press for gentling Logain, that or killing him.
Okay, so Halima, who we know is Arengar.
Yeah, Forsaken.
Forsaken, reborn.
Yeah.
Who you think is?
One of the other.
Yes.
The old guys.
The last time you talked about it, you said Balthamel.
Oh, Balthamel.
Yeah.
Oh, no, are you sure? I didn't say Arengar. What's his name?
Osengar, you thought was Aegonor. Yeah.
Okay, cool,
because of the whole Shadow Spawn creation thing.
That's right.
Okay.
Balthamel. Not that it matters.
Anyways, but that's the whole, like, he's the old dude in, like, the young woman's body now. It's the big joke, right? So he is pushing for Logain to be either gentled or killed.
Yeah.
He doesn't care which.
Right. Fair.
Why?
Well, probably because he's a strong male who can oppose them and join up with Rand, and I don't know, they probably don't want that.
Okay. And we also know that Delana doesn't think that Halima can channel.
Yeah, because she has an inverted weave, probably.
Possibly.
Definitely.
Or...
Can't channel?
Or can channel, not Saidar, but...
Saidin.
So...
Oh, but just in a woman's body. Okay.
So gentling / killing Logain, who here in the camp can tell that Halima can channel Saidin.
What you said.
Okay.
Probably.
So that's the thing. But if you think about it, it's like... If he can channel at all.
Why do you even ask me if you're just gonna?
No. I just want you. I want you to kind of like come to the idea here. So, like, if Halima / Arengar can channel, whether Saidar or Saidin, why does it not really matter if he's dead or gentled? But we know that men can feel other men who can channel.
Okay.
So if Halima can still channel Saidin, then Logain is the only person here in the camp.
See, I saw it more as like a Dark One plot.
It could be that too.
I thought like Arengar is here maybe to dispose of Logain because he showed up after he could channel again.
True.
Right?
Okay.
So maybe it was like a Dark One plot doesn't want Logain around anymore.
And it could be in a sense that too. But it's just like the indifference to the gentling or the killing. That's like the really big question mark. Okay. Why does it not really matter?
Okay.
So
if a man's gentled, he can't sense.
If anybody's cut off from the source, they can't sense anything.
They can't do that. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just double checking.
Yeah. No, that's a good question though.
All right. So now, at some point here, Delana thinks about killing this woman, but then she's like, you know, I know that if I try to kill this woman, I'll be the one to die.
Yeah.
And somehow Halima knows when she embraces Saidar.
Yeah.
Because men can sense what. Okay. Got it. Okay.
So it's like all the little pieces are here, just hidden in secret.
And then Delana is definitely not planning on crossing this woman no matter what.
Yeah.
It's like this is a classic case of dark friend in over their head.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like, once again, none of these dark friends were prepared for this.
No. No. And so now we get a perspective change to Swan, who it's a little bit later in time, and now she's having a meeting with Lelaine.
Yeah.
And telling her how exhausting it is to deal with Egwene, teach her etiquette, deal with her temper, all these, very gossipy things. Oh, would you be a dear Brandy in my tea, please? I can't even deal with this girl.
Whenever I think of the word etiquette, I always think about the using which forks and which spoons for eating.
Yeah.
But I know that's not like Amberlin etiquette, but the only thing I can ever imagine is Swan trying to be like teaching which knife and which fork and which spoon to use with the proper dish. That's the only thing I can ever think of.
Outside in, Brett.
Like, I don't even know.
It's outside in.
But if I'm setting the table, it's like, how do I know which one goes where?
Well, you would never set the table.
See, that's something that I've never had the etiquette training. I don't know.
No, I just know how to sit down at the table and eat. Outside in.
Jeez. Right, and cutlery at 5 o'clock means I'm done, but cutlery at 9 and 3 means I'm still eating or something.
Yes.
So,
Lots of good
Lots of etiquette
Lots
there.
of etiquette, okay.
I assume that's what, like, the Swan and Egwene training is, basically. So.
Pretty much. And, like, how to sip tea without slurping or something.
Exactly.
Yeah, not quite. So, now Swan is planting the seed of information that Egwene has a hot temper, and also that she's complaining that Ramonda is in her ear about staying put in Saladar instead of marching to Tarvalin.
Yes.
And it seems like Lelani totally bit on this piece of information. They say Lelani.
You did. Is that how they say it in the audiobooks?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Plus, Swan thinks about how she's looking forward to guiding Elaine.
Yes.
And how the little hall here has made a pretty big mistake in thinking that they can manipulate Egwene.
I like Swan's new game plan where she now has like accepted the fact that she's not going to be Amberlin again.
Yes.
And she
this
is dedicated.
The next best thing.
She wants to make Egwene the most badass Amberlin of all time.
She's Amberlin to make thrones tremble.
Yeah, because then you can have like the whole like, oh, I'm the mentor and I taught you how to be the best ever.
Yes.
It's like you can have that.
Because she can still do a lot of this manipulating stuff.
Totally.
Which is like what I think
she still wants a hand in.
One, she has been doing it this whole time she's been here.
Totally.
Just less overtly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now it's like almost better to teach someone how to do that as good as you used to do it.
Yeah. So. Yeah. And so then, now, we get a perspective change to Nynaeve, and it's Nynaeve having a meeting with Ramonda, doing the same exact thing that Swan was doing, but they're talking about her block, and then Ramonda's like, well, jump up and down on one foot and gossip.
Yeah, gossip about specifically the thing that they were talking about.
The thing that Egwene was having a meeting with Lelaine. And and it's like, whoa, no, she wants to stay put in Saladar, not march on Tarvalin.
Yeah, everybody wants to stay here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so the opposite is probably what they're going for.
Reverse psychology.
Right.
Classic.
Nailing it. Okay,
Classic.
So the plan is to march on Tarvalin. Okay.
Yeah. And so now Elaine runs up and has a meeting with Sheriam, because we do get a bit of a side note throughout this whole chapter that a bunch of celebrating is happening.
Yeah, party time.
Sheriam is like in with all the dancing.
Yep.
Huffing and puffing. And Elaine goes to give her a new dream terangrial and says this one will work better, but it's literally the same.
Yeah.
And then Elaine asks Sheriam ever so sweetly to please help Egwene. She's in over her head. Ramonda and Lelaine. What's her name? Lelaine.
Isn't it Lelaine?
It's the E at the end that gets me. Anyway, they're harassing her about staying in Saladar, and it's, too dangerous to move. And Sheriam's like, they're right.
Yeah,
we should sit here forever.
It's not dangerous, but yeah, so it does seem like everybody just wants to hang out here. So
good advice.
Well, here's the thing. It's like as soon as they start to actually march,
do something,
then it becomes real.
Yeah.
Then it becomes like it's actually broken. The tower's actually broken. Fractured here. So as long as you just sit and pretend.
It's actually broken.
No, not until we actually start marching.
But the world doesn't have official confirmation.
Right.
They know that it's broken.
Yeah.
But the world doesn't have that.
Yeah.
So Elaine's like, yeah, but listen, Egwene feels like if she does do what they want, they'll expect that from her every time. And I know that she needs your help, Sheriam. So here we go. We'll see what she can do to help.
Yeah. I got a question about this plan after we finish this last perspective.
Yeah, okay. So it's just a little blurb from Egwene, who's in her room having a bath, which now doesn't feel as good as a sweat tent would have.
You know. But we got Chesa,
note.
who's like gossiping and scrubbing her back. So
Yeah. And we get that this is her first step as Amyrlin, and that she has her, quote, army, and she started her attack.
Yeah.
And she thinks that even the wise ones would be proud of her.
Yeah, it does seem like some decent manipulation, but the big question I want to ask here is, she clearly has a plan to start the march on Tarvalin. That seems to be what is happening here. Convince everybody to let's get moving here.
Yeah.
But then we've got Matt Cawthon, who comes in the next chapter.
With an even better army.
But he, not a better army.
A different army.
A different army. But he specifically says, whoever thinks that they're going to march on the tower and take it from Elida is stupid.
Yeah, but he doesn't know.
Matt is the son of battles. Matt is the guy. He's the guy who knows everything about armies and battles.
But listen, he does know that. But I think he needs to learn a little more specifics about what's actually going on here.
Sure, okay.
Because, we'll get to it in a minute.
Yeah, that's just because there's a contrast.
He's like, what blind idiot was manipulated into becoming the no Amyrlin of nothing village?
Yeah, but it's like, to be fair, he's also not completely wrong about that. That's what their plan was. To nominate a stupid novice,
but that didn't
so they can
happen.
manipulate her.
Yeah,
it
but
didn't
they
work.
want to sit here.
Yeah,
yeah.
But that's the thing. It's like we have these two contrasting views.
Yeah, I do think that Matt needs to learn a little bit more about the Tower politics before he can truly say that that's not a good idea.
Gotcha.
Because I think that there are some underlying things that do matter.
Okay.
Basically, what does the Tower have? The younglings? And I mean, I guess Aes Sedai.
No, where are the younglings?
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, they're not.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
the
who they have. They're not at the Tower.
Yeah.
They're in Cairhien.
They have a real big wall.
They have a big wall.
Moat.
They have a big wall.
Yeah. Which, doesn't really matter so much when you have gateways.
Oh, that's true. Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's also traveling
Okay,
to
let's
consider.
get to this, though.
Okay.
So, chapter 38, a sudden chill, which is fun.
Yes.
Chapter symbol, 5 dice for Matt. Matt perspective, this is so fun. I feel like I've said this 10 times already, this book, but this is my favorite chapter.
Really?
It's so funny.
There's a lot of good stuff here. Okay.
It's funny. I'm so eager to read on.
Yeah.
Because this is just classic. This is my classic Matt.
There's also so much salt in this chapter that it's like...
it's hilarious.
Yeah.
It's just pure entertainment.
Yeah, we're having a good time. Which also is like classic Robert Jordan. We have like a quarter of the book left, maybe. What are we doing?
Yeah.
Are we gonna smash Samael? Are we gonna
know.
march on the tower?
I know. I'm a little bit concerned about this Samael plot.
What's happening?
I thought that would have been taken care of already.
Also, the Samael plot has changed now because Matt was supposed to be part of that plot, but now he's here in Saladar. What is happening?
Yeah, I also like the idea of Matt just popping into Camelin with Elaine via Egwene's traveling doorway.
Just like drop her in there.
That sounds great.
Okay.
Actually. But let's see.
Yeah.
Matt perspective. Matt and the band are in the forest outside Saladar.
Like right outside here. Yes.
Yeah, so we skipped the entire journey. Avienda's there. She's walking, and she hasn't even gotten on a horse the whole time because she's Aiel. Now, there was one incident where Oliver tried to stick his knife in Avienda or something.
Yeah, it's a big sad moment
and
because...
he was like shouting about how Aiel killed his father.
It's... Okay, this is a child, and he's super traumatized.
And then like later, Avienda confronts Matt about how he's not raising this kid right.
Which is like fair, but also,
like,
I mean, how much is it Matt's responsibility? But like he did take responsibility, so it kind of is on him.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot of perspectives here, but it is sad. Oliver is traumatized.
And Matt doesn't even have any parenting TikTok to watch.
He doesn't. That's what he...
That's where you
think.
get all the best parenting advice is on TikTok.
He's kind of got like a TikTok in his own brain of people like throwing in like memories and stuff.
I bet none of those people in his brain...
It's not parenting.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
like war flashbacks. Come on. That's not useful.
Yeah.
This algorithm sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But anyway, Oliver is sad about it.
It is. It's kind of like it's a kind of a heartbreaking moment when you think about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
The kid had his father murdered by the
Sure,
Aiel, and then
everybody-
he buried his own mother.
Pretty much that's the story of lots of people
This kid's under 10.
in these books.
Yeah. Okay.
What about the children who are, quote, Merrigan's kids?
Yeah, well...
What happened to their family?
Yeah.
You don't even care. You haven't even talked about it.
I'm the one who...
I know.
Oh, man. Can't believe
I
you.
got you.
Can't believe you didn't say that.
Okay.
No. No. Okay. Podcast done.
No. Okay. So now they've taken 3 days to come across Altara. So now we get sort of a time lapse on how long Egwene has been Amerlin here.
Yeah.
And it's 3 days.
3 days, yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Basically what it is.
Yeah.
They're into the 4th day right now.
Right. So I wonder if at this point she's met Brigitte or learned of Brigitte's existence.
Yeah. We don't really get the full story yet.
Not yet.
Yeah.
We get Matt spying her, but we'll see. So
it's so good. Okay.
Yeah, so the entire time Matt is thinking about how he's going to keep Aviendha from murdering Elaine because he for sure thinks that's what's happening, and I'm not sure why.
Well, Aviendha has also been sharpening her knife with like a mean mug face the entire time.
She does.
Yeah, and it's
And
the
she's
whole like
I got business with Elaine.
yeah,
But-
and in Matt's perspective, it's like, oh, women are crazy, so like they're probably gonna try and kill each
Aiel,
other.
oh, murderers.
You know, and he had a bad experience with an Aiel woman, so you
trying
know,
to stab him.
yeah,
Yes.
literally, very literally
Okay,
that,
all Aiel,
that thing.
you know,
so
that's stereotyping, Matt.
yeah,
Yeah.
of course he's gonna stereotype. That's what Matt. It's our boy Matt.
I know. Anyway, okay, so now Matt thinks that he's going to end up having to take Aviendha to Camelin under guard.
Yep.
With Elaine demanding he hang her.
Of course.
So,
It's a
whatever.
classic fight between the girls,
That's not,
right?
yeah, not even a little bit. So, now, eventually, on the 4th day,
Vannon.
Van and some scout.
You know Vannon. We had a whole long conversation. He's the
Is
big
he
dude, the best horse thief.
That's right.
We
okay.
got the whole breakdown of like
Sure.
the pyramid scheme of recruiting guys.
Yeah, it's all great.
Yeah.
So he comes back scouting to let Matt know that there are Aes Sedai here in these woods, right?
Saladar is 8 to 10 miles this way.
Okay.
Yeah, they are like right outside Saladar.
Oh, and the warders
the
are
warders
in the
are
woods.
literally in the woods kidnapping the scouts.
Okay.
Yeah,
Go-
but probably not killing them.
Okay. Kidnapping them.
Yeah, they're like taking them. Because they're 10 miles away from the Saladar camp. And Matt has a fucking army.
That's okay. Yeah, and he's marching in with an army. Okay.
Yes, like
Yeah.
that's the point. That's
Alright.
what we're getting here.
Okay. So now Vannon gives Matt the full report because he's actually made it all the way to Saladar. And he breaks the news that there's probably 200 to 300 Aes Sedai here, maybe
Yeah.
even more. Plus they have an army camped to the north, probably twice as many as the band.
Yeah.
And Matt reminds everyone that they're not here to fight, and he orders the band to stop and prepare to be attacked.
Yeah.
Because he realizes now what's like this must look
Yeah,
like.
so okay, Matt's got a good plan though. So he is here on a mission. Get Elaine, get Egwene, and leave.
Yeah.
Maybe bring some Aes Sedai back. Number one, he's now realizing like, oh, Rand was super wrong
Yes.
about all this information.
Mm-hmm.
But the big thing is he's setting up them to defend and like actually play defense here, so that the appearance to the Saladar camp is like, oh, if Matt's
They're not attacking.
they're not attacking, they're defending, so they're clearly here not here to pick a fight.
Yeah.
Like if it was White Cloaks, they'd be charging in,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
But Matt's clearly not doing that.
Okay.
So he doesn't want to get his guys killed.
Yeah, and then so Aviendha hears this conversation and is like, oh, they're that way? And then just like takes off walking for Saladar.
Yeah.
And Matt stares after her and thinks, oh man, she's gonna go murder Elaine.
I
so
gotta
he
get her.
scrambles to go get her and to get some guys with him. And so Matt heads in with only a couple of them to catch up to Aviendha.
And the banners.
And the banners, 2 big banners.
Yeah.
Which ones?
That's
the
non-threatening.
band and Rand?
No, it's the Dragon Banner and the Ancient Aes Sedai
Oh,
banner.
those two.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's an emissary for Randall
For
Thor, the Dragon
Rand,
Reborn.
for Rand, here
Yes.
I am. And hopefully
Don't attack
they like the Dragon
Hopefully,
Reborn.
that based on Rand's already wrong word, hopefully they are wanting to be aligned with Rand.
Yes.
So,
now they're heading into Saladar, and Aviendha wants to get up on Matt's horse with him
yep,
because she wants to talk to him about his parenting skills.
which are bad.
Yeah. And It's just a weird conversation overall.
Yeah, she's like, yeah, I know that men are terrible with children,
And
but
also,
you're doing a bad job and you should do better.
Well, and also the Shido killed his father, so she doesn't owe anything.
Yeah, because Matt's like,
thing.
oh, do you owe Oliver something because, like, Aiel killed his dad? And she's like, why would I owe him something? I'm not Shido.
And I didn't
kill his family. Like, why?
Yeah.
Which is fair.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right. So now Matt just like stares at her and just like doesn't even say anything back. Eventually the crew makes their way into Saladar. They just ride on in. Nobody even stops them.
Yeah.
But it's clear people know that they're not from here because they're just like stopping and staring.
Also because the giant dragon banner and the giant Aes Sedai banner.
Also
like,
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They stick out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So then out of the corner of Matt's eye, a woman,
yeah, specifically just like
catches his vision there, catches his
eye.
Pretty
woman.
A pretty woman in odd clothes.
Yep.
Big old voluminous trousers.
Nice, I love it.
Yellow pants and a short white coat and a golden braid for her hair, carrying a bow, and she's looking at him.
And what happens? Something
tickles his memory.
There we go.
But he doesn't know what, and he doesn't know whose memory, and he doesn't know what's going on. And she clearly recognizes him, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, totally. Because she like ducks out of sight as soon as she sees him.
Yeah.
Because she is Birgitta.
Yeah.
And he is the horn sounder.
Right.
So there's
all of that.
Yeah.
This is like my dream coming true.
Yeah. It's really funny.
We'll see though.
Okay.
We'll see.
We'll see.
But it's set up like this is going to be lots of fun.
Okay. Yeah. A long time ago, we talked about the possibility of Matt and Birgitta running into each other.
I was like, this is going to be great.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I did say those words.
We're like real close.
I said those words.
The proximity.
Is it a near miss?
It might be. The girls might be going to Abu Dar.
Well, maybe.
Maybe.
We'll see.
We have no idea. Okay.
We don't know.
Anyways.
All right, so now Matt finds a woman, and he's like, I'm Matt Cawthon. I'm looking for Elaine and Egwene, and I guess Nynaeve. And Nynaeve seems to be an afterthought quite often.
Well, that's not his mission.
No, it's
But he's like, she's probably here too, so, you know.
Like, even like when Gawain was like, I'm looking for Elaine and Egwene, and I guess Nynaeve.
Well.
Like, all the time.
Poor Nynaeve.
Yeah. Well, you know who would be looking for Nynaeve? It's Lan. And where's
Lan?
Where's Lan?
Where is that guy? Where is he?
What's happening?
Is this like a Bella situation where he's inside Saladar and you don't even know?
I mean, I guess it's possible.
Well, he's bonded to Morel, right?
Yeah, and he was like
going And Morel is in Saladar, right?
Yeah, I think.
You think Morel is in Saladar?
What if she released the bond? What if it got passed and then she was like...
Passed to who?
No, released it.
Oh.
Can you do that?
I mean, hypothetically.
What if she was like, well, Moraine's clearly gone, and I actually don't want this guy.
See ya.
Yeah, and then he's just like wandering around, all of a sudden can't feel her anymore.
Totally. That's the best guess you've ever made, I think.
It's the worst. I know.
Okay.
Anyway.
No, that's fine.
I'm sure that's not. I was just joking.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, but it is a very, like, where's Lan? Where is this guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So now this woman is like, okay, well, follow me. I'll see if the Amaryllis seat can see you.
It's really funny because, like, he legitimately says...
oh, this stupid village thinks they have an Amaryllis seat? That's hilarious.
Yeah, it's so funny because she says the Amaryllis seat when he says Egwene.
Yeah.
But Matt just obviously thinks it's unrelated because, like, why wouldn't you?
Yeah. So they all start following this woman to the little tower, and Matt's like, this is probably not Elida. Matt thinks that Rand is definitely wrong again, which means that this little village is not frightened. They're actually crazy.
Yeah, they're insane people here. So.
Yeah, and then Avienda gets off the horse, and Matt's like thinking about how she's going to run off to kill Elaine.
Right. That's the mission for her. And then
a crowd starts to gather.
Yes. And First one, then two, then like 10.
Yeah,
and then
Matt
like 100.
Recognizes Anaya.
Okay, so this
from his time in the tower.
Yeah, this is super important. Okay.
This novice.
This is all super important. Okay, go.
Okay, so there's a novice who's like, look, that's him. I can see him glow.
Yeah.
I can see him shine.
Yeah.
I really do see it.
Yeah.
And then Anaya says, oh, this is Nicola.
Yeah, it's Nicola.
Oh.
Yeah, we know Nicola. Yeah.
I know Nicola.
Yeah.
She's the one from the boat.
Yeah.
She's a novice still? Oh,
yeah.
yes. Right. Yeah. Okay. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
Okay. And Anaya's like, yeah, he's Taviran. You've uncovered your first talent. You can see Taviran.
So very cool. So I'm going to read you a passage.
Okay.
I saw a man once who will cause more trouble than I ever did. Maybe it was the Dragon Reborn. I don't know. It was when they took me through Camelin after I was captured. He was far away, but I saw a glow, and I knew he'd shake the world. Caged as I was, I couldn't help laughing.
Yeah. That was Logain seeing Rand.
Glow.
Yeah. Oh, because he can see Taviran.
Logain has the ability, the talent, to see Taviran.
Oh. It wasn't just like, oh, that's the Dragon Reborn.
He was literally glowing to Logain.
Oh.
So, we know Nicola can see Taviran, and we know that Logain... And we
also know Swan can. In Faldara, we saw Swan, right? Was it Swan?
Yeah.
Saw Rand walk across shining like the sun or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So we've got 3 people who can see Taviran.
Yeah.
Yes.
It seems like a more common talent.
It's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just so funny because, like, a couple chapters back, it's the whole reveal of Logain seeing Rand. But now, another 8 chapters later, it's like, oh, because literally Logain has the talent to actually see Taviran.
Okay.
And Rand was glowing because he's Taviran.
Okay. Cool.
Neat.
Yep. And then at this point, Anaya turns her attention to Avienda and is like, oh, hey, what's your name? How old are you? Are you aware that you can channel?
Yeah.
Come be a novice.
Yeah. Come sign this contract right now.
Yeah,
we'll get you into the...
And she's overwhelmed.
Yes.
She starts looking a little frantic.
It's also like super...
She's looking for Matt's help. Matt does not help her and leaves.
Yeah, because this is going to stop her from going and murdering Elaine right now.
Right, which is totally what her plan was.
Exactly. You know, it's kind of an interesting thing because you get to see all those comments from the Aes Sedai, and I think it's super well written. And just seeing the arrogant perspective of the Aes Sedai, because their questions were like, oh, how many girls die in the waste?
How do you even know you can channel?
And we know Avienda is actually like on par with the other girls.
Yeah.
Like she's crazy strong. So just the arrogance, like, you know what? You know how many girls die in the waste? None. Yeah. Literally 0. Mm-hmm. Do I know I can channel? Yeah. Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Mm-hmm. It's just like so funny.
Yeah.
And then their whole like, oh, you can learn lots in the tower, which, you know, probably in some cases, yes.
Yeah.
But also just like hard no.
Yeah.
Gonna pass on that.
Probably. So then Nynaeve pops out of a doorway and is like, Matt Cawthon, what the heck are you up to?
And it's been so long since they've seen each other, and that's the first thing she says.
Yeah. How did you get here? I guess it's too much to hope that you have anything to do with this army that's about to descend on us.
Yeah.
And Matt's like, yeah, I'm actually in command.
I'm the guy.
And then he's like, whatever, I'll take you to the Amerlin.
Yeah, still no names for Egwene. Okay.
Yeah.
It's just set up so well to be a hilarious scene.
Yeah. And this is when Avienda's like, Matt, help me. And Matt just leaves her there.
Yeah.
So Nynaeve leads Matt inside, all the while scolding him the whole time. He stops dead when they get inside because Elaine is here looking all pretty, but with her condescending smile.
Yeah, nose up in the air because she's a princess.
Not only that, Egwene is sitting behind the table with the audacity of wearing the stole of the Amerlin seat as a hilarious joke.
It is so fun. Okay, so here back to the dean analogy. So the last time we talked about how it's like, oh, you know, you just got made dean of the university, and you're like, you know what? You're graduated, and you're graduated. I don't even care if you finish your classes. But now, it's like, your buddy...
comes in and is like, get the F out of the dean's office, you moron. You can't pretend here.
It's better than that, because it's like, you walking into the university to find the dean of the university, or like to find your buddy who's supposed to like be at this university, and then you walking in to the dean's office, and then your buddy's sitting in the chair, and you're like, what are you doing here? This isn't a good joke. It's just like such a crazy, like, why would he even think that this is a real situation? Yeah. Like, I kind of get where he's coming from.
He thinks that maybe because he's such a prankster, maybe it's kind of like how tricksters think people are tricking them. Yeah. And plotters think people are plotting.
Yeah,
maybe pranksters
think that they're pranking.
People are pranking.
And it's like, it's a good joke.
Prank.
I'm the dean.
Yeah. I'm the Amerlin. Prank.
It's like, get out of the chair. What are you doing, man? Like, we're all going to get in trouble if they find you here.
And it's not just that, though. It's not just like, what are you doing? Get out of the chair. It's like he starts scolding and telling them what to do. And oh my God.
This is also partially Rand's fault, though.
I know.
Because Rand was like, oh, she's going to be in trouble. And she's going to be in trouble. And you got to go get him out of the trouble.
They need your help.
Yeah. No. It's like not that at all.
Yeah.
Matt was set up for failure from the beginning.
Yeah. So he says, maybe you think this is funny, but you're going to be in big trouble if they find you here. He hurries across the room, yanks the stole off her.
Yeah.
Starts to haul her out of the chair, and then his fox head goes cold.
Yep. Which makes sense because they're totally trying to stop him from doing this.
And then Matt's like, don't channel at me. Now you're not talking, you're listening.
Yeah. And it's the whole thing. It's like now they know that he knows that they're channeling at him.
And they know that their weaves disappeared.
It's all very crazy. Like, it's very shocking.
I know. It's wild. I love it so much.
Yeah.
And so they're like, Matt. And Egwene's like, listen. And it's like, no, if you wanted to talk, you shouldn't use the power. You listen. And then, so they all just sort of stare at him while he, like, goes on and on and on. And Matt goes on this big rant about why he's here. He's taking Elaine back to Camelin if he can keep Aviendha from killing her, which is probably very confusing.
Yeah.
And then Rand is like, you know, Egwene, Rand will send you back to the Wise Ones whenever you want. And then he says, it seems like you know how to travel, so you can just make a gateway to Camelin for me and the band and Elaine.
Yeah, and that comment specifically is so funny for the traveling because Egwene literally just figured that out. Like, how do you know that, Matt?
Yeah.
How do you know that Egwene now knows how to travel? But Matt knows where she was, and he knows that how fast she got to Saladar. And to him, he's seen Rand travel before.
And he probably doesn't think it's that big a deal.
Well, and for him, it's like, it's all the same stuff. Oh, you got here fast, so you can probably do the same thing. You can travel.
Yeah.
So you can travel, so let's just travel.
Let's
we'll go back.
Let's just do it. Let's just get the heck out of here.
But in Egwene's mind, it's like, oh my God, what hell do you know?
Yeah. Well, Egwene knows that Rand can travel too.
Yeah.
That's how Egwene decided she wanted to figure out how to travel because she couldn't handle the idea that someone else knew how to travel and she didn't.
Yeah, but
that's really what happened.
She for sure knows that Matt doesn't know that she knows how to because she just learned how to do that.
Right.
But to Matt, it's all the same. But for her, there's a very big difference.
There's a lot going on here.
It's really good.
There's a lot.
It's super well written. I love it.
And so now, after Matt's super long rant, the three women are just staring at him.
And I love the whole time he takes their silence for like, oh, good, they're listening to me.
Yeah. So he keeps going.
Yeah.
And he's like, when the poor blind fool they've chosen to be Amerlin of this nothing village gets here, I'll do the talking. Because she can't be very bright.
Yeah.
Or they'd never be able to shove her into this dumb job. Keep your mouth shut and just curtsy and I'll get you out of this trouble.
That's why he's here, to get them out of trouble.
And it's like, Matt.
Well, that's the thing. It's like their silence to him is confirmation that they're like, okay, Matt, we'll listen. And he's like, finally, I'm right. But also, he's super salty because I said at the beginning, this chapter is full of salt because Matt is really not happy with the last time he bailed them out in Tyr.
They didn't even say thank you. And they wrapped him up in the power and hung him there.
Exactly. Yeah.
Which and they tried to do again.
And they're doing it again.
Well, he was trying to manhandle Egwene the Amerlin out of the Amerlin seat.
I'm not saying he's in the right at all, but it's like this is his perspective.
I know.
That like he didn't even get a thank you last time and damn it, he wants a thank you this time.
Oh yeah.
So.
Well, here's the thing though.
Shoot.
He also mentions he knows about the big old army that they have and how that's for sure not enough to take the tower away from Elida.
Yes.
And then there's a tap at the door and a novice comes in and says, I was sent to see if you wanted anything, mother.
Mm-hmm.
And Egwene takes her Amerlin stole back, puts it around her shoulders, and says, I'll talk with General Cawthon a little while longer. Tell Sheriam I'll send for her shortly to advise me.
Yeah.
And then Nynaeve ends the chapter with a close your mouth before you catch flies, Matt.
It's all together. It's just like a funny, like a heartfelt reuniting of the Emmons Fielders.
I know.
It's so good.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
It's good. It's funny. Except Elaine is not an Emmons Fielder.
Well, she's
also
but
just
she's
kind of
also
standing
in the
off
background.
to the side.
She's
always in the background.
Yeah.
Listen, okay, I do have a funny thing because the quote or the line, close your mouth before you catch flies.
Yeah.
That line, I don't hear it often because it's not very common, but I have a personal story about this line.
Okay.
So
from like your life?
From my life. And I think about, it made me think about this. So I play soccer, and I used to play pretty competitive soccer when I was young. And so I must have been maybe 18, because we were like just out of playing youth, and I don't even remember the situation. There was some ref call and a bunch of arguing, and my team and the other team were like yelling at each other. It was like a big thing.
Yeah.
And then something happened where the other team didn't get what they wanted, and one of the girls was standing there with her mouth hanging open, and a girl on my team was like catching flies.
What?
And then the girl looked at her and was like, I don't have fat thighs. And then we all started laughing and laughing and laughing.
Okay.
And she probably thought we were like making fun of her, or
yeah,
like calling
that's
her
terrible.
fat or something. And it was just like this like wild situation. And because I had never heard, and I was like, did you say she has fat thighs? And it was like, no, she was catching flies because her mouth was hanging open. And I was like, what is that? And so that's a running joke.
That's so funny.
In my life.
Yeah.
With like my friends I played soccer with. And I'd never seen it or heard it anywhere.
That's really funny.
And then this is like, close your mouth, you're catching flies.
Well, you know what they say about the wheel of time, you know?
Full circle.
Full circle. That's what they say. That's what they say about it.
Anyways, that has nothing to do with anything. This chapter was excellent. I can't wait to read on.
Yeah.
This is fun.
For the end of the book, really soon.
Soonish. And we're coming up on 200 episodes.
We are. Very soon. I have to do the math.
I know.
It's in like 3, 2, 4. We're going to get as close as we can to the 200th episode.
And we'll have a party.
Yeah.
Why not?
It'll be, okay.
It'll be the 200 party.
Okay.
I'll think of a theme for that.
Of like official episodes of like the chapters. Because we're like way over the 200 on other recordings.
On lots of other stuff. But yeah, no, that's a big deal. That's fun.
Absolutely.
This is great. I also like when Matt's like, I am the general.
Yeah.
I run this shit.
I mean, and there's the thing, there is like the double standard where it's like Nynaeve doesn't believe that Matt could be the General Cawthon of the army, but then Matt doesn't believe Egwene as the Amyrlin.
Because they've all leveled up in their lives.
Yeah.
Quite substantially.
But it's kind of like if you went back to your home city and it's like your buddy from high school is like running
the
whatever.
CEO of like
and you're like,
Google.
Why are you here, man?
You're the CEO of Google?
Yeah.
Like,
it's like,
what?
No. Yeah, but that's like exactly what it'd be like. It's like, you're not qualified for this.
Yeah.
It's like, you're not qualified for your job. And that's the secret to life, is nobody's actually qualified for any of the jobs that they do.
Fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
They both got the personalities, so...
they're kind of fitting in.
They're all leveling up a little bit here.
Yeah, a little bit.
Except Nynaeve.
She's the most powerful of all of them.
She needs to break that block.
She does.
I predict, new prediction.
Ooh, okay.
She breaks the block by the end of this book.
Oh my god, I love that so much.
That's the prediction.
Okay. That's
Write
a good
it
one.
down.
Okay.
Because I want it broken so bad.
Oh, of course. I get that.
So.
I get that. You're feeling it's real soon. Real soon.
Okay.
Okay.
So now, before you go and try to save 3 women who absolutely do not need you to save them, I'm going to say that this is part of the pattern now.
Yeah, it's part of the pattern.
Well, that's all for now, folks. Thanks for sticking around to the end of the episode, and thanks for listening. The Wheel Weaves is hosted by Dani and Brett, produced by Dani and Brett, with Essen, Passion Socks, Mozyme, Moltude, Benjamin, Michelle O'Brien, Jamie Young, Cody Fouts, Megan Smiley, Jonathan Reese, and Kaz. With music by Audionautics.com. If you're interested in supporting us and the podcast, you can find us on our Patreon page at patreon.com/thewheelweavespodcast. For all things The Wheel Weaves, like how to get in touch with us, how to send us really cool shot glasses, our social media links, how to join our Discord, and for just some general information about the show and the hosts, you can head over to our website at thewheelweavespodcast.com. And as always, don't forget to tell a friend about us, to leave us that 5-star review, and to hit that subscribe button over on YouTube. We'd really, really appreciate that, and it does help a lot. Thanks again for listening. This really is part of the pattern now.